I'm gonna pull up my comic here just so that you guys can check this out. This comic was actually made by one of you all. Okay. In fact, two of you. One of them's on stage with me here. But so let me just show this really quick. So I may it's really kind of an awkward place for me to say did I make this or not, because like yes, I put the whole thing together in terms of the joke and all that stuff, but it was actually Bob's Blaze that sent me the layout and the variations that he made to make this comic. Okay. The joke being here is that if you've ever owned a cat, you know those churro things are freaking addictive, like crazy addictive. So that's the ending joke on this, is that they see the obelisk from 2001 and it's like, nope, it's actually a churro. Like that was my entire bit there, but like understand that almost all of the visual information I'm telling the audience was not included in what was given to me. So let me show you guys that. So if I go in the comment section here, I actually have the mock-up here. Um, the mock-up itself is quite literally like I ended up not using one, like I ended up merging these two panels together. Basically, I'm just going through this, but I was inspired by Bob's Blaze's choices. He gave me a big script, honestly. I was like, okay, look, people are going to be only reading this stuff like while they're pooping or whatever, so like this needs to be a joke that can be like said in a pinch. It literally needs to be said in a pinch. So like I reduced the joke down super hard to something that I felt like would be, you know, quickly consumable. And and now I'll just zoom out here so you guys can compare left to right here. I want you to notice the cat's faces first. You'll notice that whoever has the speech bubble is actually talking in this prompt here. That is entirely done by selecting over the area there and just writing the word meow. Um, Literally, the cats just started talking after I wrote the word meow on their mouths. And that's been my favorite use of in painting so far. Honestly, is just getting a realistic talking cat mouth like that we would do for like the dogs. Like okay, the original way you would do this in entertainment was literally to put peanut butter inside of the mouth of the animal, right, to get them to start talking and stuff like that, or quote unquote talking, and it looked awful back then, right? And then early CG and early VFX tools came in the 90s that started making lip flapping a thing. Um, with this, at least with like in painting and pictures, this is amazing. Like this is literally a plug and play option for making characters talk, especially if they're animals, because you could just make the animal sound and or replace it with the in painting. So I did add a couple hand drawn elements, like down here there's a little opening of the mouth that I just drew in there. And then also in terms of hand drawn, and it's also really weird for me to say hand drawn because this is like partially vectored, but all their heads, like all of the fish bowls that their heads are in, are all vector art that I applied over it. So I basically drew a circle and then I drew another circle and said that second circle is a cutaway, or like it cuts out that circle to make it like just like an outline like this, and then I doubled it and then brought it over with a blending mode to make this kind of reflecting light that comes from it. The entire reason I did this, because you could logically say like, okay, maybe there's atmosphere on this weird alien planet, right? The only reason I did all this work to put the bubbles on their heads was because I wanted a reflection of the churro inside of the head. That is literally the entire reason I did that. And I did that because it would be a subtle joke to the audience that they may not ever really even see. But it's a subtle joke that tells the audience to have expectation, to have a little bit of like, oh my, are we going to make a 2001 reference? Or, oh, are they going to find like some crazy thing out there in space? And it's just a churro. That is literally like the foundation for this joke is just almost all comedy actually is just subverting expectations, right? So that's my subversion, is just making you think that it's a 2001 reference and then boom, quick. This is the churro comic. I definitely am so happy that I did this with Kinky and Blazed. Bob's Blazed, because this was such
Calling
a
all
fun
Bobs.
project. Yeah, well, okay, you upresed it. It would not exist if you didn't upres it. Like, understand, Kiki, you had more effect on this than you think when it comes to this stuff, because you chose it. You chose the picture, which was this image right here.
I
That
didn't
that
choose the churro life, Victor. The churro life chose me.
yeah. I'll just say that this comic here is a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun making it because I didn't make it entirely. You know, like it's not like an idea where I was like, oh, I don't know if this is gonna work or whatever. I knew pretty fast that this was gonna work because Bob Blade made me laugh. Um, he sent this to me, you know, and the thing is about this comic here is that I got inspired by his layout, right? So Kinky got inspired by the image and going, "Ooh, that's fun." And then Bob's Blaze got inspired by Kinky's decision to upres it and went, I see some sort of story here. And there's also a little bit of an Easter egg. It's pretty small, but they do have a space cadet symbol. It's something that I prompted separately and threw in there. It's a little sleeping cat, like as if he was in stasis, and he's like, yeah. So I was like, deep space travel cats. So that's fun. I I was mostly wanting to point this out because this is an example of doing a collab with AI users, right? Where we're all kind of getting inspired by different things. And you guys have given me the honor of finishing it, as in like the like I'm the one that actually determines what the story is, all that stuff. You guys are more than welcome to make your own version of these. You could even use Bob's Blaze like a initial layout and try to make your own kind of expansion on this. But this is the joke for me, and it got like 2,000 upvotes or so on Reddit. It was recognized, but it was also like not any of my biggest stuff or nothing like that. And the main reason why is because this isn't obviously generated, but it is. There's no like the artistic decisions that are in here are entirely me going. There's a lot of pink here, so I want it to be a reflecting light of churro, right? So there's like a big shadow, like all that, all these elements are drawn in there because I was inspired by how pink everything was. The if you were asking earlier about how I got inspired for my jokes and stuff, and that's it. That's got to be it there. So it's mostly just visual information. Okay, cool.